Let's say the challenge is this high, but our capabilities are only this high. Obviously, you're going to feel pretty anxious because there's a big gap between those two. Now, let's say the challenge is only this high, but then your capabilities are way up here. Obviously, there's a big gap in the other direction, so you're just going to be bored. So when we find a flow state, that means we're somewhere in the middle, right? Where the challenge is this difficult, but our capabilities are almost just as powerful or at the same level as the difficulty of the challenge. So as our capabilities get higher, we can increase the difficulty of the challenge to still find that flow state. So how do we access flow? How do we get into that during practice? How do we get into that during our training so that we can better access it during matches? You, one, need to be honest about your capabilities. You need to understand how they actually are in reality, not this falsely perceived idea of who you are in terms of your training, but being really honest with yourself. And then matching up your level of difficulty to a point where you're going to be pushed, right? But not pushed too far, but not pushed too little. Pushed almost perfectly to a point where you can find that flow state. So then you got to be brave enough to design and face challenges that are just slightly above your capability level and not undershoot it and find things that are just too easy for you, or overshoot it and find things that are too hard for you. It's got to be right at that perfect balance. That's where you're going to find your flow state.